right, I would like to welcome Frank Harrell from SEL, the Vice President of Cybersecurity or Security. And we talked about that earlier. I think it'd be fun maybe to unpack how much traces to you as far as security at SEL. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Anxious to talk to you and glad to be here.
All right, awesome. Well, let's just get out of the way. Everybody wants to know what's going on in your prime rooms. You know, what special thing? They got to stop by and see what's going on there.
We're excited about this year's prime room and that we have a full industrial attack simulator there. And so what we're showcasing here is the capability of SEL. Whether you're involved in internal network security monitoring and CIP15 in the utility industry, or you're just increasing your cybersecurity control set, we have demonstrated our software-defined networking technology. Operational technology, software-defined networking is going to revolutionize and is revolutionizing the way networks can be protected, the way Ethernet can be made safe in industrial and utility environments. Along with that, our Blueframe application platform, which is really removing insecure operating systems from digital or from substation environments, from industrial environments, and within that, our our data management application, and also the way our flow controller for the SDN, basically the control plane, functions within that Blueframe platform. So really a way that you can see how SEL technologies integrate with partners like Dragos and Nozomi Networks to detect threats and adversaries inside an operational technology network and really act as a preventative control more so than even a detective control, because it really reduces the attack surface that the attacker has at his disposal, and eliminates or it dramatically reduces their ability to move laterally inside those networks.
Awesome. So it sounds like there's going to be a real hands-on opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah, so what we can demonstrate for you there and is that Blueframe technology, that secure operating system, and overlaid within that are these applications that I'm talking about, and also the partner applications, and also that's running on SEL ruggedized computing hardware. Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories devices since 1982, first product was produced in 1984, have always been made in the US, and that includes rugged computing platforms, able to operate from 40 below zero to 185 Fahrenheit, above zero, austere environments, no problem. Fanless technology, it's almost eerie to walk into a room where these things are operating, because you would expect, large or high decibel levels, server, fans, etc. You hear nothing because they're silent and designed to operate in those rugged environments. On top of that, all these technologies are running, and so that we can demonstrate real-world, real-time attacks, see how those are either thwarted or detected or both, and really demonstrate how this is advancing the state of operational technology of cybersecurity.
Oh, I'm going to stop by. I can't wait to see that.
Please do.
So let's touch on your role. I think it's interesting. There's more and more of these, I think, happening at asset owners as well.
Right.
Where there's one person sort of held responsible for many different slices of the cybersecurity pie, and that's what's the case for you, right? That all sort of traces to your...
Well, I'll say at SEL, it's a 100% employee-owned company, and has been for years and years, and so we're all accountable. We're all accountable to each other. But so the corporate security role, we view really enterprise cybersecurity as the baseline, because all of the research and development, everything that occurs inside that large bubble is incredibly important, has to be secured, and we do that. We embrace international standards as the floor, not the ceiling, to start that journey, if you will.
Yeah.
So we're certified to ISO 27001 inside the corporate environment, and then our large R&D arm is inside that. We provide that secure enterprise infrastructure from which they launch these new products, technologies, and also the technologies that have been made in the USA since 1984. Inside an IEC 6243-4-1 certified R&D environment, or research and development, secure development lifecycle environment, to bring these technologies to play. What we fuse that with is a 24/7 security operations center, which is staffed by SEL employees. And one thing I'll note about SEL is, if you call, and this has been the case for 40 plus years, it's something Dr. Schweitzer started back in the 80s. If you call, I'll give you our phone number, 509-332-1890. It's been the same. It's going to be answered live by an SEL employee, either in Pullman, Washington, occasionally Charlotte, North Carolina, but live by an employee. That's 2 a.m. on a Christmas Eve or whatever the holiday. Yeah. And that employee is going to be able to help you or point you in the right direction, especially in an emergency with operational technology.
That's pretty awesome to be able to share. That's cool. So let's talk about the theme this year for the conference. create the future of OT and ICS security. Clearly, you're doing some of that by the nature of what you guys are doing.
Right.
I've been creating it since the 80s, as you pointed out. What would you say is you gaze to the future? Is there anything else you would add to that story?
Well, first I would gaze to the past, and so when Dr. Schweitzer designed that first digital relay in 1982, produced it in 1984, and today it underpins most of the North American electric grid, and also increasingly the world. He designed into that product the first set of cybersecurity controls, multi-level passwords, error checking firmware. The list goes on, and those were cybersecurity controls before the term cybersecurity was even coined. And so what we're doing is taking that baseline, those first principles, and moving that into the future with the products that I talked about. To me, the most exciting thing, or one of the most exciting things, are the two things that we're going to showcase, and that's the Blueframe application platform. I mean, on that rise, these different applications, these modular containerized applications, on a secure non-Windows operating system that allow acute insight into operational technology networks. DMA, the data management application, allows us to manage entire fleets of devices, rotate passwords for compliance purposes and also security purposes. Look at device configurations, what's been changed, what's not been changed, is it what you expect? And if it's not, what can be done, or what should you do instantly, or can you delay, but you can assess criticality using that application. The other thing that software-defined networking does is, the other technology we talked about, which is OT, software-defined networking. It's incredibly malleable today compared to what it was. It still is denied by default, and you design exactly and only what you expect to occur on that network, but it can be architected almost instantly, or at least extremely rapidly. We can ingest Visio diagrams of networks and completely architect or design that network from those drawings. So if you have an up-to-date network drawing, SDN, SEL, SDN, can provision itself and adapt quickly to that network and allow those flows, or adapt to that network drawing and allow those network flows, and more importantly, only those network flows that you have designed in that drawing. So that is an incredible advancement, I think, and something we can showcase in our prime room.
Oh yeah, people can see that now.
Yeah,
See how that works. So that's live. That what you're just describing. That's not a future functionality. You're
No,
doing
that's
that.
not. I mean, it's live, but we're continually advancing and improving. So we'll talk to you in the prime room about what we're planning for the future, what the future holds in store for both OT, SDN, the different applications that run on top of the Blueframe application platform, our RTAC. Or our Axion, which includes an RTAC module, which is a real-time application controller, what that can do in terms of automation, the insight that can provide for internal network security monitoring, and all the things that really work as a synergistic set of devices and systems that really advance cybersecurity into the 2030.
And as we talk about that feature, there's so many different things that one can pick on. Do you have a favorite element, like this is going to be the key? You're talking about a company now, you're 40 years?
Correct.
So, what's another, let alone 40 years, another 10 years, what do you think is going to be the big new thing? Is it AI? Is it machine learning? Is it blockchain? Is it, what is it? Maybe it's not a technology. Maybe it's a trend.
No, I think it's a blending of all of this, right? I think certainly agentic AI contains incredible promise, but it also contains peril. With the nimble way an attacker can iterate and
it's a yin yang thing, dark side, light
it
side.
Really is. It really is, and it's incumbent upon us all to understand that, embrace it, to move as prudently, rapidly as we can, and that's what we're doing at SEL. But I do think what you're going to see in terms of the advances in SEL will come from next generation relay platforms. It's going to come in from our Blueframe application technology, which is a really modular way that we can start to, or we are advancing the state of cybersecurity inside deterministic networks in particular, but really at the IT OT interface. And more importantly, we're working with our partners, with our industry partners in terms of threat detection, Dragos, Nozomi Networks, and others actually, to ensure that advancing threat landscape that we're describing is never going to outpace us, because we have the technologies that are modular, adaptable, and secure, and we can modernize them a lot more quickly than operational technology has been.
I can see you just in my head. It's like shortening shortening the time frames that it used to be to react to some of this.
And more importantly, sitting on top of operational technology devices whose lifespan is measured in decades.
Right.
You know, we design things to last 20, 30 years, but along with that needs to come that other technology that sits higher in the stack, so that we can continue to protect those devices that were designed in a time when we perhaps couldn't even contemplate the threat landscape we face today.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And so is that part of that strategy of like, we may not patch that, it may not be possible, but if we can protect it, we'll just leave it in its enclave or whatever.
You know, I think just about certainly manufacturing operations is deals with equipment and things that are not necessarily completely patchable.
Yeah.
OTSDN is one of the controls that really is paramount in protecting those legacy devices and even networks that you can sit higher in the stack and control and protect things that are hard to protect using traditional patching and the cadence that you would be needed to do that.
Yeah, well, fantastic. I look forward to coming by your prime room and checking out the platform. I hope a lot of other people do too.
We invite everybody to stop by.
All right, sounds great.
Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.